Arbitrators, welcome on back to close out our week here, June 2nd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Getting the hot tag from Fausto here for the Phase 3 stock class coming up. Great to see all of our students and members alike inside our live trading room. Grant, Dan, Lewis just before, Scott, and Warren as well. We got a bunch of us here. There we go. James, Jeff, John just before. Leda, of course, great to see Leda here. Hopefully with the Friday riddle to wrap up our week, though. Nevertheless, we are good to go coming up for class at 3:05 Eastern. Just really briefly, again, for all of our students here, I'll be getting the tag from Fausto, so I'll be teaching the Phase 3 class lining up at 3:05. So I have a couple of lines set up here, levels set so far on this AI trade, but it looks like it's just still making lower highs. Lower highs, they typically lead to a lower low. So we'll see if the markets end up pulling back altogether here. If not, perhaps the SPY could run up towards 430 before the end of the day, before the end of this week. But we'll just see what's ahead here heading into 3 o'clock. No real pressure to just jump into a trade yet, or even when class begins. We know it's normally 3:30, the better time of the day to try and actively trade. So we'll see if it's around 3:15, maybe 3:30 there. So either way, AI just very active stock, right? How volatile it's been over the latter portion of last week into, after Memorial Day, coming off their earnings, even from Wednesday. It's been all over the map, right? Been a great trade up, been a great trade down. You could buy puts on it on the way down if it's hard to borrow. Hey, for right now, I don't mind just putting this on our list in terms of volatility. Hopefully there's just a nice trade moving with the market going up. And AI is not the only stock actually like dropping in at the lows here. It's like really just all the different chip and AI stocks all there together there. NVIDIA not down as much percentage wise, but that just double bottomed. I was expecting that to break lower, and it held at the time here. So getting a small bounce at least collectively. PLTR just went break even on a short right from 14.54. So right there exactly at the same price prior to this meeting beginning. Then what else we got here? We had the PLTR. I mean, you could show AMD at the low of the day making pretty much the same move as NVIDIA. They're basically brother, sister there. Yeah, we'll run into a couple more AI trades perhaps, but what we'll just do is go from top to bottom, at least across the gainers list into the losers. The big talk of the morning here, the MMV trade, and we nailed this. Not just like the run up. I mean, that's nice to see, but for as much as a stock breaks above resistance, folks, and it runs, let me ask Ron, Tony, Graham, Bill, Leda, Jeff, John, resistance initially turns into what? What does resistance initially turn into after it gets broken through? There we go. Love Grant leading the way here. Love to see Grant here and all of us just joining us as well. Support. All right. Well, in terms of this trade, this was like a crazy IPO, I think. Like, I don't know, maybe it was OTC first, then joined the NASDAQ to end last year. But I did my planning on this morning on the stock, and 240, I just bottomed out there 2 consecutive bars, dropped all the way from 13.15 down. So I don't just follow one little bottom and one little low of the day and call that big support. But when it bottoms out there 2 times in a row like that, that provides somewhat of consistency. So heading into the market open, I was screaming, historical level 240, historical level 240. And I'll tell you what, hey, for the MMV trade, I want to give a big shout out to a bunch of our students that got in right off that 240, that 250-ish. Let me go from earlier here, if I may. I know a bunch of us, like Steve, got in from 269 out at 309. John was in and out briefly there. Steve got like 10 cents. He ended up getting stopped out on another trade after. Manuel got 20 cents on his trade. Just, hey, for a late morning, early afternoon type of bounce, we'll take it, right? So for right now, hey, it's pulling back down at this point. What makes the top percent gainers list one day makes the percent losers list. So we'll just move on. LVTX, another push up, at least more so from the early afternoon, we'll say. Pretty much right smack at noontime it popped. So kind of out of nowhere, this ended up just breaking out here. So pushed up towards 380, 375-ish, and then now just, I guess, still holding support perhaps. Maybe I'll just write it down for the side list here right now. Come back to it if I need to. Look at this, CNSP. Nice little pop right now. And that also came from nowhere just before. I didn't notice this until now. Just broke the highs off of 230 there. Let's see what we have on the daily chart. Nice squeeze. Definitely putting this on the main watch list. Just be careful of the spread for that to open up. It doesn't have like the most liquid orders out there. Collectively, they're not really that big, and they're kind of spaced out a bit on the bids. So that's where you could see a bit of a spread at first, but hopefully it contains and more eyeballs catch on to this trade, hopefully heading into the close. I mean, it ended up smashing above resistance already at 230, 262 the high there. It also actually closed the following day at that price on April 20th. Yeah, I mean, hey, it peaked just right at 259 a moment ago, maybe 262. Watch for a small little resistance here. Then if it breaks that, perhaps the stronger push in the afternoon up to 3. Just very shoot from the hip there. But definitely for right now, CNSP I'll put on our main list. Looks good. iHeart Radio, I think this is, right? iHeart Media, bigger than just a radio network or whatever, but ended up leading to a nice pop earlier this morning. It's at the highs, right? It's trading about 1.9 million shares. Maybe this can make a squeeze. I'll put this on the side list, come back to it if it gains more steam. You don't really want to be following like something slow as molasses into the close. You want to follow something with trends, and you don't need to follow the fastest thing either. So how about this big trade, big lots? I know Michael had called it out earlier this week, just with the big earnings drop I think that they had at the time, and making a very strong recovery, at least from that point. So good direction, cheap, tight spread, good order book. This actually is just going to be on the top of our watch list here for right now, the big trade. Cool. You never know what you get during these meetings, folks. So, I was following AI all throughout the early afternoon. Actually, I was just going more break even on that, if anything, unfortunately, because it kept pulling back. So good entries, but ended up leading to just a lower high, and that led to a lower low. So there's break evens across the board on the afternoon, small losses, break evens. Dish ended up having a great pop earlier this morning, another stock that came off of, I think it was just other news, if not earnings, from a week or two back. And I think it was actually this day here, this big red candle. It gapped up and then it closed the gap. Michael D and myself ended up just taking that as a short, I recall that day. For right now, Dish, it's technically tradable, but you want to follow a stock at the highs or at the lows right now at this point. So, it's a good short. It's been a good short off the highs there. If anyone's in it, then you're doing really nice. Let's just see what else is out there. Write Dish down on the side list at least. I could at least do that for the trade. All right, we got Jumia. I'll never get this company right, but ended up having a nice pop earlier today. And hey, this is also at the highs right now. We have more stocks on the side list than we do on the main list. We got to cherry pick and just see what looks the best here heading into the close. That's really all. I'd rather trade a Pac West trade right now. A stock like Pac W ended up popping up pretty nicely before as well. But this one we're a lot more familiar with. Similar to AI, right? I mean, just this one a lot cheaper and a little less volatile. So had a nice push earlier today. It hasn't tanked yet. It might, but for right now, it's still holding to the point where we do want to keep an eye on this trade to see if it ends up making the higher high rather than the lower high here. All right, what else we got here on the gainer side, folks? There's definitely a lot more that's up percentage-wise. I just see it here. We're already at like number 50. Lulu, for as expensive as Lulu is here, yeah, not really within our price range. Let's hop over to the loser side right now. If there's anything looking just as good, if not better, folks, on the way up, just work together as a team here in the chat boards for all of us inside the live trading room and us on social. Just, let me know if there's anything that I missed. S, not for Sprint. Right? That's old school. S used to be for Sprint, and now it is for, what is it? I can't even see the name. Senatol 1 Inc. All right. Nevertheless, ended up leading to a bit of a drop-off earlier today. Just so flat right now, right? If it was showing better direction down at this point, I would put it on our main list, but we'll pass. IONQ, well, hey, what goes up eventually does come back down. For as much as this ran up here from like the last couple of weeks, had a couple of down days in between, but this is the larger drawback that we had here today. Great short. For as much as we followed this stock, we started to trust it because it remained liquid. So for as much as it remains liquid, and if it is easy to borrow, it does provide a really good opportunity. So, hey, great trade from the morning, but kind of like the S stock right now, not Sprint, but like S, it's like kind of flat here for the meantime. On the side list it goes. Geez, we're going to like basically go through the whole watch list again before we wrap up and kind of just see if there's any else we could add. Riot, well, hey, as a short, this is just at the lows already, so I like that part. A little slow, but, at least in terms of a short, let's say if the SPY pulls back and makes a sharper drop-off heading into the final hour, then with this being already pretty weak, it actually could provide a good trade in that regard. So more of a speculative short here, just in terms of a fail to break the highs on the S&P and perhaps a sharper drop that Riot would see from that point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm thinking here, folks. Let me know if there's anything else looking good. John showing off his profits. Always love to see that. He's saying UCAR made his month. Love that as well. Manuel saying a nice pop on it here too. That's not a nice pop. Don't get caught. Don't get caught in something like this. It already pumped and dumped already. You don't want to get burned heading into the weekend. Rip your hair out, all weekend waiting for Monday to open up. Even if it pops after this point, I could not care less if I'm wrong, folks, because that is what happens much, 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 much more often than not. So let's not play with fire here heading into the weekend. All right. So, hey, let me know if there is anything else, though. I'm going to go through the whole side list again here at this stage. Not really too much that I was thrilled about outside the ones we put on there. LVTX dumping off more, so that's out. iHeart, I thought that was a little slow. So for the time being, I'll pass on it. But Dish is tradable just in the sense of liquidity and trading decent volume per minute. But right now, I'll just pass. If you're short on it already, I'm rooting you on. But see if there's anything looking better. Jamia here. Jamia. We'll add it here. We'll add this one. JMIA. It's still holding near the highs. It's starting to eat back up a tiny bit for right now. And yeah, we'll see if this can gain more momentum at least. S, we'll pass on this thing. That's garbage. And, well, hey, it'll come back to IO and Q, and this is making a very nice move on the way back down. So, you know what? Showing a little bit more activity. We will add this year. Not bad. Roger, how about a big shout out to Roger? Actually, I did him yesterday, but once more, Roger had his best day ever yesterday. So even on a Friday, you're not looking to really shoot too much out there. So I'm sure he had locked up a lot of those profits and ran. Hey, calling out a firm here, AFRM. It is up big. It's up big this afternoon, up over 8%. It's actually at the high that we had back from Wednesday this week. So actually, why not? I don't mind this here. It looks pretty good. And in speculation of the market exploding into the close and breaking the highs, then perhaps this could be a really strong trade going up, right? Similar to kind of my thesis on Riot if we fail to see those highs. All right. So, folks, I think that we're pretty much it. Let me just jump to Benzinga Pro, scan around, and then we'll finish up. Yeah, TNGX here. It's actually up 6% the last few minutes. I don't know what the chart looks like, though. It's up 14% on the day. TNGX. I reckon so, but the spread's ugly. Yeah, I'll pass on this thing for right now. Got NRSN. I'm trading low volume. I could tell already on that. So that's going to be a tough one to consider unless if it's really just exploding right now. AI on the loser side. Roblox on the loser side there maybe. And we'll check out Roblox. Not down a lot percentage-wise at least, but tradable. A decent little short. What was that last one that we had? We had one more there from the gainer side, right? What was it? The NRSN there. This one. Let's just take a look. Yeah. All right. We're at the bottom of the barrel here, folks. We're going to wrap up. For all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., we ended up doing our new subscriber giveaway, a free 1 month to our live trading room. So welcome aboard Alan V joining us here upcoming this week and across the next month joining us here. If anything, Alan, if you're tuning in, just make sure that you call our office and schedule a time with our education advisor, and they'll be able to break down at least how the room operates, how the room works, and everything else in between. That is the office line right there that I'm posting on our YouTube stream. So just give a call to our office to get that subscription set up, Alan, a free 1 month. But congratulations and welcome aboard. And then for all of us otherwise on YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., hey, enjoy the weekend. Hey, you've got summer here, folks. So enjoy the nice weather, enjoy the nice outdoors, do something that you enjoy, right? And we'll touch base on Monday. But any questions that you got trading-wise, feel free to shoot me a quick email. josh@c2trading.com is the handle. And then with that on top, Grant, Leda, Roger, John, and Kathleen, Manuel, Bell, Bill, and all of us here. I look forward to seeing most of us in class. Make sure that you click the link to join the Phase 3 stock course, folks. Again, I'll be trading going into the market close with all of us there. And then, again, talk to you all going into the class, otherwise heading into Monday next week.